गुड बॉय, वेरी गुड बॉय।
ये बात कंडोम मतलब समझदारी और जो समझा वही सिकंदर।
And that is one of my favorite ads ever. Hello everyone, I'm Ayush, a student at IIM Ahmedabad.
And I'm Parmeshwari, also a student at IIM Ahmedabad. And I also happen to love that ad. You know, Ayush, I actually remember being so scandalized when it came on TV. I had no idea what to do because my parents were in the room and it got so awkward. So that's actually why it's stayed in my mind all these years.
That'll definitely leave a mark. Now that we have admitted our love for the bold, contraceptive ads, we would like to welcome you to our podcast, Deconstructing Public Service Ads, or commonly known as PSAs.
In this episode, we aim to talk about the workings of PSAs, what works, what doesn't work, and the main drivers behind these ads. And of course, the government's immense love for Akshay Kumar as a brand ambassador for them.
And even if you're not interested in the psychology of promotions, we'll be playing quite a few of these old PSA ads, and we promise you a nostalgia trip right ahead. But before we go ahead, what are exactly PSAs, Parmeshwari?
Okay, so public service announcements are of course communication pieces commissioned and released by any organization for increasing awareness about any socially relevant issue. Like, for example, HIV awareness, menstrual health, or malnutrition. Or it could be a call for action for any matter relevant to society at large, like asking people to practice road safety, exercising the right to education, and so on. It's a long list of issues.
It's a long list indeed, but Parmeshwari, what is the absolute first thing which comes to your mind when we talk about government PSAs?
See, a bunch of things come to mind, like preachy ads, celebrities, strong visuals of my lungs turning into tar if I smoke, and so on. But if I had to pick one and only one thing, it has to be Amitabh Bachchan asking me to get those polio drops.
You mean this one?
छे, धिक्कार है हम पर। पोलियो के बूथ पे इतने कम लोग। कब तक अपने घर बैठे इंतजार करते रहेंगे आप? कब तक अपनी जिम्मेदारियों से मुंह मोड़ते रहेंगे? अरे भाई, मां बाप तो बच्चों के लिए क्या क्या नहीं करते। 2 बूंदें जो आपके बच्चे को जिंदगी दे सकती हैं, उसके लिए आप 4 कदम नहीं चल सकते। 5 जनवरी और 9 फरवरी को बूथ पर जाएं और बच्चे को दवा पिलाएं। चलिए, ठान लें कि पोलियो का नाम और निशान मिटा दें। प्लीज, come on.
Oh yeah, this ad. I mean, it's been decades since this campaign was out, but the message is still so strong. And not to mention, this Do Boon Zindagi Ke campaign is one of the main factors behind polio eradication in India.
Oh, absolutely. Luckily, we don't need this ad anymore. India had about 1600 polio cases in 2002, which fell sharply to 66 in 2005, and as of 2011, there was only 1 case. In fact, when a survey was conducted at a polio booth, it revealed that almost 92% of the people were influenced by the ads to come to the booths.
Wow, now that is something. This is a brilliant example of a PSA really bringing about on-ground change.
Without a doubt, all hail the great people who made the polio-free nation a reality. But this begs the question, if the polio ad was a sixer, there have to have been some ducks, and I'm sure you've seen many of those.
Oh, now that you mentioned ducks or duds, I can remember some which were definitely off the mark. For example, do you remember this classic?
खतरों से खचाखच पेश है मुकद्दर का सिकंदर के 2 फाइनलिस्ट्स। इन्होंने तय किया है खतरनाक फासला हजारों फीट की ऊंचाई पर, और ये खतरों से बेपरवाह यहाँ तक पहुंचे हैं अंगारों से। पर अब आखिरी राउंड, लगता है रिस्क नहीं है, तो कौन बढ़ेगा आगे? पर बिना कॉन्डम। समझदार थे जो सबसे बड़े खतरे से डर गए और घर गए।
सबसे बड़ा खतरा?
HIV, यौन संक्रमण और अनचाहे गर्भ का खतरा। और जो समझे ये बात, वही है मुकद्दर का सिकंदर।
That was unconventional. I think the intentions were definitely noble, but it does not land well for sure. And I mean, why do you think it doesn't work?
I think personally, as an audience, it is very hard to relate with a premise like that, and it just seems a bit confusing overall. But that's not all actually. We had asked a few people about this ad and what they thought, and this is what they had to say.
Weird, like, what is this? I don't know. I don't like this ad.
Very problematic. I didn't like it at all. There are 200 million better ways to convey the same message.
Oh, that's interesting. So on one hand, we have PSAs like polio, which have definitely been hits. And on the other hand, we have Mukaddar Ka Sikandar, as we would now call it. So what do you think makes a good ad?
So, like I mentioned, we've been speaking with a few people trying to understand what they thought of these ads, and it was clear that ads cannot be preachy. The more you can relate with an ad, the better you're able to register the message.
Yeah, definitely that does make sense. And also, if you look at most of the PSAs, they have a very common trend which they use as motivators in the ads, and they use things like fear, humor, guilt, and of course our beloved celebrities.
Oh yes, I think PSAs heavily rely on motivating people by making them fear the outcomes of their actions. Take this anti-smoking ad for example.
मनुष्य के स्पंज समान फेफड़े हवा सोखने के लिए बने हैं, लेकिन कुछ लोग फेफड़ों को बीड़ी सिगरेट का धुआं सोखने के लिए इस्तेमाल करते हैं। एक आम धूम्रपान करने वाले व्यक्ति के फेफड़ों को अगर आप निचोड़ कर देखें, तो इतनी मात्रा में आपको साल भर का कैंसर पैदा करने वाला टार मिलेगा। इतना टार आपको बीमार, बहुत बीमार बनाने के लिए काफी है।
This one. But honestly, some studies have shown that greater fear does not translate into greater compliance, because until a moderate level of fear, people still respond to the messages, but when it's overdone, the effectiveness starts reducing.
Okay, makes sense. But if not fear, then what do you think about using guilt in advertising?
I mean, guilt has always been an interesting one. Do you remember this ad where guilt was used so effectively?
एक्सक्यूज मी सर, ये मेरा इस्तीफा। क्यों सर? यहाँ के ट्यूबलाइट से मेरे को एलर्जी होता है सर। ओके।
मुझे यहाँ का वास्तु पसंद नहीं है।
माँ कहती है मैं बहुत दुबला हो गया हूँ, यहाँ की कैंटीन ठीक नहीं है, मैं जा रहा हूँ।
हमारा हिसाब कर दीजिए, रॉकेट साइंस सीखना है। मुझे बॉलीवुड में जूनियर आर्टिस्ट का रोल मिला है सर।
मेरा क्या कोई मजाक है क्या? एक से एक घटिया रीजन देके रिजाइन कर।
आपने मोहित को HIV के कारण जॉब से निकाला था, वो नहीं था घटिया रीजन?
So you see, right, how they try to evoke guilt for discriminating against anyone for being HIV positive, and that's what advertisers are really trying to do, tapping onto people's guilt, because it's such a powerful emotion, and now it's said to be fast replacing fear as the dominant motivator as well.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. But look, fear and guilt make sense in PSAs because you would want the audience to correct their course by either fearing the outcome or feeling guilty about it. But how do you think humor fits into PSAs?
Humor actually can be really effective in PSAs because it relaxes the audience, puts them at ease, and makes them feel more positively inclined to actually digest the message you're putting at the end of it. For example, take this famous ad.
बैठिए मैडम, बैठिए। अरे देखो इनको, इनकी नाक देखो, बिल्कुल अपने पिताजी से मिलती है। देखो इसकी आंखें देखो। पता है तेरे पिताजी ने हमें हंसाया है, रुलाया है, मनोरंजन दिया है। मतलब कौन सा गाना था? एक चतुर नार बड़ी होशियार, क्या गाना था वो?
ओए बेटो, तू यहाँ क्या कर रहा है? और ये दोनों लड़कियां कौन है?
देखिए भाई साहब, आप कौन है?
जी मैं इसका बाप हूँ।
आप इसके बाप हैं? महमूद का बेटा नहीं है तू? अरे हास्य कलाकार महमूद, ये तेरे बाप का रोड नहीं है?
जी नहीं।
तो फिर बिना हेलमेट के 2 लड़कियों को बिठा के व्रूम व्रूम करते शर्म नहीं आती तुम्हें? चलान तो कटेगा भैया तेरा। और अभी उतर के लेके जाओ। आपकी और सबकी सुरक्षा के लिए कृपया ट्रैफिक नियमों का पालन कीजिए, क्योंकि
रोड किसी के बाप का नहीं है।
शाबाश। सड़क सुरक्षा जीवन रक्षा।
Oh damn, I did not see that message coming there.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Humor especially works because these ads are not something people actively want to watch. So it's a good way to make them pay attention.
Hey, also, wasn't that Akshay Kumar in that ad?
You mean the celebrity for the government now? Definitely he was there.
Oh, yeah, no wonder. So, I've noticed a lot of celebrities and they're quite common in these PSAs. Do you think there's any particular reason why?
Absolutely. I mean, celebrities work because they transfer their own values to the causes, which makes them sound much more credible. Do you remember this famous PSA, for example?
नंदू, हॉस्पिटल के सामने खड़े होकर फूफू कर रहा है?
बीवी बीमार है, अंदर है।
क्या हुआ भाभी को?
वही औरतों वाली बीमारी।
औरतों वाली बीमारी?
खर्चा इतना।
सिगरेट कितने की?
10 रुपए की।
10 रुपए की। और जेब में कितनी पड़ी?
एक और है।
मरने के लिए तेरे पास पैसे हैं, लेकिन बीवी को मौत से बचाने के लिए पैसे नहीं है।
क्या बक रहा है?
ये देख, मौत लिखी है इस पे, मौत। और ये सैनिटरी पैड पे जिंदगी। हंस मत। 2 सिगरेट के पैसे से भाभी को ऐसी खतरनाक बीमारी जो महावरी के वक्त गंदा कपड़ा इस्तेमाल करने से हो सकती है, उससे बचा सकता है। और सिगरेट ना पीने से अपने आप को भी खतरनाक बीमारी से बचा सकता है। यानी कि मौत के पैसे से 2 जिंदगी खरीद सकता है तू, एक अपनी और एक अपनी बीवी की। सोच अब हंस।
Oh, of course, who doesn't know this ad?
Exactly. So if you remember, Akshay Kumar had played Padman, and the audience is sure to keep that association in mind when they're watching this ad, so it enhances its effectiveness.
Oh, yes. In fact, in one of the surveys that we did, the audience did mention the conversation about menstruation in their family opened up significantly after they all went and watched Padman. So I think we're on a good streak here, Ayush, and I think we've identified some really good themes. But how about we get an expert opinion and see what they have to say about this?
That would definitely be great.
So on that note, we've invited Mr. Ambi Parmeshwaran, a veteran brand strategist, to help us see the advertisers' perspectives on these PSAs. Welcome to our podcast, sir. We're very excited to have you here. So first things first, I have one important question. Do you think these ads are really effective?
Public service advertising by the government is often done by what is called the film documentary division, and most of the efforts they do doesn't really work too well. So they throw a lot of money, and a lot of the stuff they do, maybe they do have a lot of people advising them, but it ends up not engaging the consumer well enough. Though there have been outstanding examples. There is this case study you might have come across called the Balbir Pasha about AIDS awareness. And they did a fabulous campaign in Mumbai saying Balbir Pasha ko AIDS hoga kya. And the whole thing unwound in a series of hoarding messages about how if he uses condoms, he will not get AIDS, but will he use condoms? Stuff like that. But it's a very well-crafted campaign. You can Google it and you can find information about it. But a lot of other stuff is almost talking down to consumers, talking down to users, and it doesn't work the way it works, and that's the tragedy. But they spend a lot of money, doing it.
That really is tragic. But then, what do you think is at the heart of this ineffectiveness? Because of course, some thought must have gone into making these ads, right?
I'm sure they have a lot of, psychologists and sociologists advising them across, what is to be done and what is not to be done, right? I mean, what will motivate the consumers, what will put off the consumers. But finally, when it comes to from the intention to action, I don't know whether they spend enough time on understanding the triggers, understanding the insights, which will make the whole thing work, right? So they probably do a lot of research, very large scale research on how many people are using, let's say, toilets and not using toilets, etc., etc., etc. And they do this big bang campaign saying build toilets, right? But then someone was telling me that on the ground there could be other problems. People don't want to use the toilet because women in villages like to go out together with other women into the fields early morning, and that's their social get together, right? So that means you need to break it through something else, right? So there are probably, there are many gaps. One is understanding what is happening, what is the consumer insight which you need to trigger, and then finally crafting a story where it's possible that they don't spend enough time, effort, money in hiring the right talent to create the right story.
Right. And speaking about stories, when we were watching some of these ads, we identified some common techniques that the ads used, like creating fear in the audience's mind or using humor, guilt, etc. So how does one really decide the right kind of psychological motivator?
Well, fear in public service messages don't work very often if it is to you. Now, if I tell you that if you smoke, you will die, that's not going to work, right? And that's been proven in research, multiple times. Fear appeal will work only if it appeals to someone else, right? So which is why one of the big things which happened in terms of anti-smoking is the discovery of passive smoking. That, your children will suffer from cancer because of your smoking, right? That worked. But telling him you smoke, you will have cancer, and you will say, no, I know enough people who smoke who don't have cancer, right? It dismisses. So using humor in a public service thing, again, is kind of slippery, right? Depends on how serious it is. If it is wearing a mask, yes, humor may work. If it is taking a vaccine, humor may not work. It depends. It depends on, one, how touchy is the subject. Is it like smoking or chewing tobacco? Is it open defecation? Or is it wearing a mask, taking a vaccine? What is it? And then find out if what will work with what.
Yeah, that does make sense. Because when we watch these ads, we realize that campaigns like Save Electricity, Condom Adoption, Road Safety employed humor. Because these probably targeted the urban educated classes on relatively lighter issues. Whereas anti-smoking or COVID ads seem to employ fear because these seem to have much graver consequences. So, that being said, as an advertiser, what would be the one thing you would recommend to PSA advertisers to create more effective ads?
So somewhere, what you need to do is to find out where is the target audience, what is their concern today, what do you want to change, and then how are you going to monitor whether you're changing the attitude. We don't do that well enough. So this doesn't matter that 1 year you spend 20 crores and next year you spend nothing. It's not going to work.
Yes, that makes sense. Crafting the right messages takes a lot of effort. But could you also tell us how exactly do you go about this process of understanding the consumer and what really makes them tick?
Yeah, so you need to do both qualitative and quantitative research, right? And you need to do it regularly. We don't do enough. And today there is also online, particular some kind of target. Rural women are not going to post about outdoor defecation on their Facebook page, but urban issues, there is a lot of data available to you. If you're able to harvest all the data which is available on online, and then you can analyze it and you can arrive at certain conclusions. Right? Otherwise, you have to spend money. You have to spend money going and meeting consumers, understanding consumers, doing anthropologies, ethnographic studies, which you must have done in your course. You have to do all that. And from there you get your insights. And then you test the insight, whether that is really an insight. And then you think it's right, then you put money behind.
Of course, understanding the consumer is at the heart of advertising. So, I think we have a pretty clear way ahead from here, and these PSA advertisers clearly have their work cut out. So, thank you again, sir, for joining us. And with that, we also come to the end of our podcast. We hope you enjoyed the nostalgia trip with some of these ads and hearing about how they were crafted. And with that, I'm Parmeshwari and I'm signing off from here today.
And I'm Ayush, also signing off. Thank you for listening, everyone.